welcome to 12 Gauge Uncut. We have been waiting, and I know you guys were really disappointed we missed him last time, and unfortunately, due to work, Skrilla was not able to make it last time, but ladies and gentlemen, I finally bring to you Skrilla the Great.
How y'all doing tonight?
So
today, excuse me.
So you'll have to forgive us if the audio is a little bit different. We'll try to adjust that out. We're kind of filming on-site on location here. We're at the Anthony Center, which Skrilla will be returning tonight to KLT.
Right. That's right. Wanted to do something a little different and do it in person instead of online. So here we are.
Yeah. So I hope y'all will enjoy it. We're going to get right into it. And I knew Skrilla. Skrilla was a vet when I first came in here. As green as grass, as they say in the business. Didn't know anything. Probably wouldn't still be here if it wasn't for this guy giving me several talks, and along with him and Zero mentoring me throughout my short career at this point. Skrilla, tell me. That being said, how did you start out? As far as what made you what made you want to be a professional wrestler?
Man, the first day I seen wrestling on TV, it was the day I knew I wanted to be a wrestler. But I actually got my first start in the backyard. I know that's Sean DePon in the business, but that's where I got my first little run with it, and here we are now. I mean, it's been a long journey, but I wouldn't change it for the world, man. I think my story went exactly how it was supposed to. So
awesome. I see that. Me and you have similar backgrounds. I started backyard too. So,
okay.
Yeah. So, but I tell most people who didn't start in the backyard.
I mean, right.
Either it was your bedroom and you were breaking with, or if you were like my parents, you were caught jumping on the bed.
I was about to say,
something else get broke.
I like to tell people, if you think about it in another sport term, like if Peyton Manning threw his first touchdown probably in his backyard, so it's like you got to start somewhere, and as long as you're starting, you can try to achieve whatever you want to.
Absolutely. Who was your favorite wrestler growing up? Who was your hero?
Well, man, I had so many guys that I kind of just loved, but I mean, the first guy that I seen on TV and I was like, okay, I'm watching was Macho Man, and he was cutting one of those promos and just going crazy, and I was like, man, this guy's larger than life, and I ended up growing into loving Sting and Luger back in those days, and Bret Hart, and Shawn Michaels, all those guys, man. They were all those guys. Mr. Perfect, like Roddy. I mean, I could keep going, I could keep going. So.
Yeah, absolutely. And obviously we got a lot of similar background there as far as wrestlers go. Mine was Hulk Hogan.
Yeah.
And then Macho Man it was undeniable.
Yeah, there was no doubt about it.
The character, there's all of us, and especially when he got the Slim Jim commercials.
Yeah.
I mean, how many Slim Jims did we go by?
That's funny because, I go at certain places and it's a group of people that come and they always give me a Slim Jim, and I'm like, man, that's crazy. Because I used to eat them all the time, and it's crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah. Man, you're definitely one of the most decorated athletes in Georgia, and that's awesome. Tell us a little bit about. I know and I'll try to put this in footage afterwards. You had a huge feud with Zach Mosley.
Oh yeah,
which got you in Sports Illustrated.
Mm-hmm.
I guess let's start there and talk a little bit about that feud. That was one, and you've had so many big ones since then as well.
I hate pulling the cover, back, but I mean, me and Zach met each other in Florida, and it just kind of meshed from there. And then we just kept going with the story, and we brought it here. And it just after it came here, it went everywhere. It went from Florida to here to, I think we did one in Alabama. Like, everybody wanted it at that point, you know. And then we incorporated the rest of the exotic youth with it, and I mean, it was one of the hottest things going in the indie scene. Like, I mean, guys from over the country were talking about it, so it was like we did a good thing with it, man. It was fun. It was fun.
Yeah, I definitely enjoyed that. As far as, and I'm thinking from that point in, Zach, when that feud first started, was the KLT champion, right?
Yeah, he was.
Okay.
He was.
And how many months did that go before you wound up taking the title?
It had to have been at least from 4 to 6 months, somewhere around that area. And it was, I mean, we were doing a lot. And I was a part of Peachtree Mafia at that point, so it was a lot going on at that point. There was really a lot going on. But it was enjoyable. It was very enjoyable. And I finally took the title, so and then my reign here eventually started. And yeah, it was pretty good.
Gotcha. Well, I know being on the road, you're working a lot. As far as, and you have, if I'm not mistaken, you have, I know you have at least one daughter that I know of.
Mm-hmm. I have a son and a daughter.
A son and a daughter. That's what I was thinking. There was one of each.
Mm-hmm.
About what age did you have them? And
I was 25. I had those back to back, by the way. So I was like, all right, I had them back to back. I'm done at this point. But I love them very much, and they also support and encourage me to chase this dream. So I just continue to keep going and, you know, try to keep the tank going as much as I can at 36. So
yeah.
Yeah.
And I see that as a father myself, and that's why, you know, I kind of pulled the curtain back on that, because I don't think people sometimes see Skrilla as the family guy. And I saw you with them in the pictures, big bright smiles and proud dad.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I love them to death, man. And like I said, they really love the journey too. So it's like I'm just continuing to go, like, for me and for the family and for guys like you that, you know, want that help, man. I do that for them too. So it's a journey, man. I tell you, it's not easy work. Everybody thinks it's easy, but it's really hard. But just keep it rolling, you know.
Yeah. No, and yeah, I don't think people realize, especially those of us who put the serious work in, that you've got training, you've got the gym,
Mm-hmm.
you've got your regular life to deal with,
Mm-hmm.
But then you have your shoot job
Mm-hmm.
that you got to deal with, because
Yeah.
we're not making 7-figure contracts,
Not at all.
you know, like some of those guys. And then we got to try to figure out how to get our body through all that,
Yeah.
because the week just resets and nothing changes for us.
Yeah. And then a lot of people say that it's fake, but we incorporate a lot of our real lives in these stories. So it's hard to see fake in anything that we do in this business. So I don't know. It's crazy, but we seem somehow get through it, right?
every time. And, you know, and for me, my inspiration, I've always told people, and being the truth is, you know, I was that little boy
Mm-hmm.
that didn't come from a great background.
Right.
And if it wasn't for wrestling and Hulk Hogan and those people, I probably wouldn't have had the moral compass that I
No doubt.
wound up. So what's your direction? What gives you that push as far as exactly why? What's that one why for wrestling if you had to pick it?
I mean, the opportunity just came because I never thought that I could make that happen at all. I mean, I was doing music at that point. I was just doing a lot of things that I wasn't proud of, and so I was trying to find another outlet because school wasn't really a thing for me. But this came along, man, and when it came, I just grabbed a hold on it and just put it in the sleeper and just kept going, man. I'm very grateful that I had the opportunity, so just trying to keep it going.
Gotcha.
Well,
So, who broke you in the business?
let's see. A friend of mine, Eric Dees, is who I started with as far as the backyard wrestling. But I first started training with Michael Stevens down at AWN in Fort Valley. Then I met Fred Yehai, and I just met so many guys that taught me a lot of stuff, man. From him to QT Marshall, Logan Creed, Nick Patrick, Jimmy Wang Yang. You trained with me with him, and you know, I just met a lot of guys within the journey, and just give me a few tips, and I put it to my arsenal and keep going. You know?
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
As far as I always like to bring up, because I think people forget, is in wrestling, especially the indie scene,
Mm-hmm.
your finisher.
Yeah.
How did you develop it?
It was when I was training with AR Fox, and it was something that he was doing, and I just wanted to pay homage to him. That I learned something from him, and I just started doing the springboard cutter out of the corner because you know most guys do it from the rope, but I wanted to do it out of the corner. Yeah, and named it Skrill Ride. So yeah, shout out to AR Fox for that.
Just watched AR Fox this weekend,
Oh, yeah.
actually.
Yeah.
With his little thing going on with Darby.
Mm-hmm.
So
Man,
congratulations.
he's something else, man. Like the way wrestling comes to him is so easy. Like, and when you're with him, you're like, man, how does he come up with this stuff? You know, like he was definitely built for wrestling. You know, and I was grateful to train with him. It was roughly like around 6 months. Yeah, I had fun with that.
Awesome. As far as if I had to give you, as far as the indie scene, if you had to do your top 5 of your best competitors.
Oh, wow. Well, you know Zach's in there.
Yeah.
Man, me and Zero had a good bit of fights too, man. Owen Knight, me and him had a nice feud. Narcissism. And Fred Yehai. Yeah. Those were my 5.
Okay.
Very fun, man. Very fun. And I learned a lot from all of them. So.
Yeah. Narcissism, if I did say that right, as far as I've watched him, and it's just the athleticism there.
Incredible.
Yeah.
Incredible.
And it looks like you can tell it shows that he probably lives in that ring.
Yeah, he's so diverse, and he can change it up like that quick, you know. And sometimes it's hard to keep up with, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's fun if you ever get a chance to get with him and work with him, man. Definitely recommend that. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, you might be a good word if I have to keep on the podcast.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, he loves that. He loves stuff like that. So, yeah.
Well, as far as your, I guess I put you on the spot with this one, promotions. Your top 3 promotions that you like to work with, that you favor the most.
Well, obviously here, this is home. Like, I keep them on speed dial, and they be like, "Hey, man, are you free for this?" And I'm like, "Oh, no. But when I'm free, I'm here." You know. Yeah. IWE, of course, that's definitely home for me. The third one, I have to say PCW, Platinum Championship Wrestling, definitely. Yeah.
Well, definitely here as far as KLT is rolling is Skrilla territory. Skrilla and Brandon both, or Zero, I'm sorry. They both, you know, the crowd can't deny that either one of the two.
He's got it. He's got it over me for sure. He definitely has it.
But when my initial anticipation trailer for you that I announced had well over 1,000 people viewed that live.
I'm sure he was just as close. Dude.
And very, very close between the both of them.
Yeah.
So. Sorry, I got a little sidetracked. Sorry, guys. We are in a live building, so there's a little sound. There's a little extra sound coming in here and there. Let's talk about goats, the greatest of all time. This is always
what are we doing? 3 or 5?
Let's do 3.
Oh yeah, okay. Oh man, that hurts because there's so many guys, man. But if I had to put 3 in there, number 3, I would have to say Rock. 2, I want to put two people at 2 because it's hard to kind of like keep them away from it. So I'm gonna say Shawn and Undertaker at 2. And then 1, I gotta say Macho Man because I mean that's the first guy I seen. But I wanted to put Piper up there too. There's so many guys. I wanted to put Jericho there. Jericho's done it all. AJ Styles has done it all. There's so many guys. What's your 3?
Well, my 3, it always starts with Shawn Michaels. And that was my go-to performer when I was a kid. Just because, Hogan probably falls in the second. Just because, I mean, I know he's not the most popular pick now, but as a kid, and, the popularity of that man, well, and even what he's done to wrestling in general, nobody knew what wrestling was, but they knew who Hulk Hogan was.
All right, and if Bash at the Beach in '96 didn't happen, wrestling probably wouldn't be where it is today. So
I know, the most amazing heel turn in history. Yeah. I mean, you can't touch it.
Yeah.
So that has to be, and I'd probably say my 3rd, which is going to be an album for you probably, is Will Ospreay.
He's solid. He's really good.
And so,
but see, I like you that you don't have like the ones that everybody says.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's really good. He's really good.
I mean, I watched him and Omega, and
I was just about to say that. That match was really good. It was crazy.
Yeah, it's just crazy the 2 things they put on him, especially that Tiger Driver that he took. I don't know. I have mixed feelings. I don't think he should have took it like that, but I think there's something said for giving to the fans, but then there's something to say about his longevity.
He kicked out at it. I was like, whoa, how did he kick out of that? That was intense. It was. I mean, even seeing him back in the day was with Ricochet. Like Will's he's been doing it, man. He's really good.
Yeah,
he's really good.
And he's changed so much from when he started in.
Yeah.
Even his body size, like he was that quick high flyer, and now he's a very competent sized competitor. I would definitely say a heavyweight competitor.
He's beefed up for sure. Yeah,
but he hits so hard. I mean, as far as I would say in the ring, I had never worked him, but I would expect I would expect a very stiff competitor in the ring.
That's how New Japan is. A lot of people sleep on New Japan, but it's really solid storytelling.
Yeah,
really solid storytelling.
And so, and I can appreciate that. When I'm in the ring with people, and I prefer the stiffer. Like stiffer style. If it's a safe spot, let's go.
Yeah. It's not a ballet.
Yeah.
It's a physical sport.
So, talking about physical sports, injuries. Well, we all know injuries are a part of this business.
Yes, man. I've had several.
So let's talk about what injuries have you had and how did they set you back?
Oh, the nose was by far one of the worst. I got kicked in the nose with a steel toe boot, and my nose was like an L when I got out the ring, and they had to place it back, and that was the worst. I did hyperextend my knee at one point. I think I did something to this pinky. I can't even see the knuckle there. I mean, it's wrestling, bro. It's wrestling.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's tough. It's tough.
Yeah, absolutely. It's
You've had something? You had any?
Well, I've not from now. My nose, I had to have my nose when I was younger. I had it shattered on a metal bar, and it healed wrong, and so then I had to eventually get it fixed, and that's where they stuffed it with the gauze and all this stuff.
Right,
I didn't realize the amount of stuff that you go through from healing your nose. Like I couldn't taste. All my taste buds were reset.
Oh, yeah.
Like ketchup was like hot sauce. And so eating was awful because nothing tasted like it used to.
No doubt, yeah.
So when you said that immediately, that's what I went back to. I was like, it's strange, but that but I think
I was lucky to have an EMT on site that day.
Other than the infamous night where I took the steel chair to the back of the head and had to have staples, I think that was the worst in-ring. And you checked on me shortly, like I guess you had saw it.
I remember that. Yeah. Oh man, I was pissed. Yeah, I was mad about that one for sure. But yeah, I had to make sure you're all right.
Yeah. So, but yeah, that was an amusing night because everybody's trying to. Even Eric's like, go to the hospital, and I'm back there trying to just like pour a little alcohol in it and stick it together.
Yeah. He wasn't a happy camper either.
No, he wasn't. And,
we talked about that. Yeah.
So, as far as champions now, are you holding any titles in the?
Yeah, I have the PCW Dealer's Choice Championship. I have the IWE Mayhem Championship, and I have the Middle Georgia Championship for New Generation Pro Wrestling.
Gotcha.
And then Deep South has their tournament coming up in September. Hopefully I can pull that one off. And that would be a big deal because Miz was like their first Deep South champion, and they haven't had a title holder since Deep South was open at first. So I'd be the first one back if I can make it happen. That'd be cool just to be in that path,
Yeah. I'm sure if you're involved in that, the gold's not going to be that far away.
Yeah, I know, right?
As far as I know, KLT's going to be a little drive for you from now on, but but
3.5 hours.
3.5 hours.
No.
So, but I know you. That doesn't mean that gold's not still. So does
I told somebody the other day I might as well live in my car, man. As much as I'm on the road, man. They give me an RV or something.
So I know Lamar Phillips is the current heavyweight champion.
He is.
He beat you in, I would say, rather peculiar circumstances, to say the least.
He loaded a pile of stuff on me.
Yeah. So I guess that's a whole new definition of burying your opponent, right?
You said it best right there. You said it best. But I don't want him to count me out. I'm back home, so you never know. Might come back after it.
Yeah. So the Lethal Lariat may go for the scroll ride soon.
Hey, I'm here for it. He knows that.
Yeah.
He knows that.
Absolutely. Well, I think as far as we're starting to come to a close, any shout-outs that you want to make? And
Kyle Matthews, I hope me and him tear it up tonight.
Okay.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I'm anxious. He's always been on my radar as one of those guys that I have to wrestle in Georgia. So tonight's the night, and we're going to see what we're going to do.
Okay. That sounds good, and I bet and I'm going to be out there being able to watch, so
It's going to be intense.
So I'm going to be excited. I'll be out there with the crowd on the edges of my seat for sure.
No, man. Shout out to the crowd, man. I'm grateful to be back, and hopefully I get that warm remorse, Yeah. Shout out to my mom. I love you. Yeah, man. I appreciate you having me.
Oh, man, I appreciate you. So, Screw, if somebody's looking for you online, how do they find you, or where can they follow you?
Hey, just search Skrilla the Great, and you will find me on all platforms you got, man.
Okay.
Check out the Peanut Butter Falcon. Grab that Sports Illustrated. Yeah.
Yeah, and I will tell you, I've watched Peanut Butter Falcon.
It's so good.
It is an amazing movie.
I keep telling people, like, I'm in it, but I completely forget about it because the story's so good. The story's really good.
It was really good.
Yeah.
My wife, which is in the back running the cameras right now, when I was watching, she was like, the Peanut Butter Falcon, and she was looking at me like, I was an idiot, while I was watching this movie. And then as she started watching it from the side, she was getting interested. She didn't want to admit that because you know how that is.
Yeah.
But
Man, and like I hate that we're talking about this now, but to see everybody's story come together while we was on set out there, like from Shia, he was going through some stuff, and seeing Zach help him through his stuff, and Shia helping Zach with him and his acting, and we're getting comfortable on being on the set. Like man, there was so much going on. Jake the Snake had just had surgery on his hip, and Mick Foley was out there. That was his very first. Like everybody's story of being on that set, it was cool, man. It was really cool, and to just see all of us mesh together, it worked out.
I'll tell you what they need to get you on next. We need to be Heels season 3.
I was there. I don't know if you can see me. I haven't watched it yet, but I was out there.
I hadn't saw season 2 yet.
I see everybody posting that stuff. I haven't had a chance, man. I work so much. I want to catch it, but yeah, I was out there for that too. Yeah.
I was very impressed. Big shout out to those guys for making that.
Yeah.
I was stunned how good that first season was.
Yeah, man. And I got to meet CM Punk while he was out there, and that was really cool. But yeah, man, I got to catch it because it's a compelling story as well.
I need to meet Punk. I feel like sometimes that me and him have, and you, I'm starting to wonder at times whether I'm going to take away the most controversial from you.
Hey,
because
it's up for a taking. I'm ready to switch it up a little bit anyway.
Yeah. So when Rocky Shaw comes into the mix, it seems like emotions get flaring everywhere here lately.
Indeed. That's crazy. Yeah.
So, as guys, thank you very much for joining us. I want to give you a big shout out. Look at our Patreon. I'll have links for that as well. We love you guys' support. Subscribe. Watch us on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, almost anything and everywhere we can be found. Check this guy's site out. Follow School of the Great. Look for his merchandise. Big part of this, guys, our support for indies is you looking at our merchandise, things like that.
Yep.
Helps out a lot. A lot of the work we do, the hospital bills, all that has to be paid out of our pocket.
Mm-hmm.
So every penny you can do to support us, we appreciate that. But for Rocky Shaw,
insurance too. That's great.
Yeah.
I ain't trying to use it, but you never know.
I hear you. But for Rocky Shaw and School of the Great, see you next time, and beware the 12 gauge.
We be going hard and we be going strong. The ring be calling me just like a mobile phone.